Well, we got a new motor for the Genesis. Had to get a whole car just to get the engine. But yeah, we got a low kilometer engine in this one. I'm going to give you guys a quick walk around and show you guys everything on this car. We got a couple extra goodies with it too. So basically the plan is we're going to get this engine into the Purple Jenny. And hopefully everything turns out okay, so we can get it done in a couple days. But for now, we're going to give you guys a quick walk around, show you guys what we picked up here. And yeah, we'll go from there. So let's get started. All right, so what we have here is the new heart for the Purple Jenny. Supposedly this engine has only 120,000 kilometers on it. I don't know what that is in miles, like probably like 70 something thousand miles. So it runs good. It's fairly decent. There was a couple things done to it maintenance wise, but regardless, I'm going to be doing all the maintenance on it except for the head gasket. We're going to be changing every gasket in here possible. I don't know how the previous owner treated it and a bunch of things like that. So I want to reseal this whole engine. The timing chain is aftermarket. I do not trust a aftermarket timing chain in these Hyundai engines. I would rather get a brand new timing chain set from the dealer. Shoot me in the comments. I'm going to spend the money and get an OEM timing chain because sometimes chains like to stretch on these cars and I don't trust the aftermarket ones. Anyway, we got a couple goodies with the car. We got an engine intake like I already have, so that's going to be for sale. Turbo X's blow-off valve, I have the same one, so I'm not going to need that. It is missing a few things, but luckily I still have all those few things that it's missing. So it's missing an AC condenser. What else is it missing off the front? I feel like I'm missing something else here. A couple things are missing on the front. AC condenser, rad fan. I don't see anything else that's really missing here. It does have a, it's quite hard to tell here, but it does have an ISR O2 housing, which I already have brand new. It did come with some rotiform wheels. Those are going on the Elantra 100%. I just don't like the black on them. I prefer the silver ones. We did get some purple energy prismas. These are going to match the interior of the Genesis perfectly. This was my old wheel. I just had to put it in. I've got a shift knob that's kind of hideous. The interior is gutted on this thing and it's caged. It's like not really a hack job, but it looks like it's decently done. The homemade roll cage looks pretty good. That's not going to be any use because you cannot safety a car in Ontario with a roll cage as far as I'm concerned. Correct me if I'm wrong. Got some pretty decent taillights on it. Rest of the body panels are fine. I might keep these taillights, make some clears out of them for sure. Probably going to end up doing that. Everything else on the car is fine. Everything runs. Honestly, I don't care about anything else. Basically, so this was the lowest mileage engine I found. I had to get the whole car just for the engine. This, like I said, it has around 120, around 130. My engine had 134, 135 on it when it went, approximately. So this one has around the same mileage. Luckily, this body has more mileage than this engine. This is the second engine in this car, so that's kind of not reassuring. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be doing is taking this engine out, getting it ready to go into my Genesis. So we're going to be stripping the whole front end off the car, getting the whole front end, the whole front clip off, getting all these hoses, coolant pipes, everything off, disconnecting everything, basically to get it ready to swap into that. But before that, like I said, we're going to do a general inspection on everything. The first thing I want to do before I even pull the motor out is I want to pull the valve cover off and check the valve train. So you can't really tell. The oil is clean, fairly clean. The oil cap didn't have any like residue or anything like that. I wouldn't expect it at a 120,000 kilometer motor. Didn't look like there's any sludge anywhere. So we're gonna basically, once we have this out of the car, we're gonna plop it onto my stand and we're gonna inspect everything properly, reseal what we need to reseal, and things like that. So basically, we're gonna start with is we're gonna rip this whole front end off the car for today. Just rip the front end off and just start disconnecting a couple things, mainly just the whole front end section, aside from the hoses and pipes on the back side, and just general look over while we're doing it, see if we can see anything that needs to be replaced out of the obvious. But yeah, for now, we're gonna take the front end off the car, and then we'll see where we're at when we get to that point. All right, well, I got a little bit carried away here. I got the whole front clip off. Literally all the wiring disconnected, at least 95% of the wiring disconnected. A couple things I noticed along the way. If we look back here, I don't know if this is an existing leak or like residual oil, or if it's a current leak, but this is covered in oil here, like this area. Back here too. I don't know if that's oil or just or coolant residue from the coolant jackets back here. That's slightly concerning. We'll have to inspect everything further when it's on the stand. Another concerning thing is I guess when they swapped this engine, I guess they didn't like put enough coolant in it, because there was no coolant in the heater hoses or hardly any in the actual coolant system there. So this engine might have ran low on coolant, potentially got hot. Yeah, I was told it does have a brand new head gasket with ARP head studs. Well, we'll have to check everything out when it's on the stand. Another thing that I noticed, very concerning. This is the oil pressure sensor, and it's ripped. And I just noticed that I didn't take this off. This is how the sensor is, which is very concerning. So this engine doesn't know how much oil pressure is running through it, or something along those lines. Sorry, I'm just a little flabbergasted here. This is concerning. So this engine could have been running low oil pressure or too much oil pressure. We do not know. I think what I want to do is, before I put this in, is drop the oil pan, take the ladder frame off that covers the crank assembly, and inspect the rod bearings for wear. See if they've thinned out, and check the rods as well to see if they starting to have play. The engine isn't knocking whatsoever, but I think it might be a good idea to inspect that when we have it on the stand. And if something is bad, then I just wasted a lot of money. On the plus side, the turbo's good. There's no shaft end play or anything like that. It spins pretty freely. Everything else seems okay. Nothing too serious. But I did notice one thing. This is very funny. If you look down in there, kind of hard to tell. Let me try and get the camera focused here. If I can zoom in right there, somewhere down there. 1 second here. Holding, you see that down there? Those are vice grips holding the transmission slave cylinder line on. Very funny. Actually, you can probably see the end of the vice grips from here if you look close enough. Focus. You can't, the camera won't focus, but the vice grips are down there holding that on. I found that kind of funny. We're gonna fix that properly. We're not gonna do any janky repairs on this. A lot of the wires were zip tied on because they're broken. I managed to get all mine off without breaking anything except one down here, which I need to find. I accidentally ripped it because it was still attached. I didn't realize when I pulled the motor. But yeah, everything else is pretty much apart. Vacuum lines, vacuum hoses is all apart. So this, essentially what we need to do now is basically drain the transmission fluid, drain the engine oil, and then what we're gonna have to do is drop the drive shaft, then pull the engine out. So it's pretty much ready to go. That's probably gonna be another day type thing. So for now, we're gonna just finish up with all these hoses, unplugging everything from wherever it attaches to the harness. If I missed anything, I wanna go over it, and then we'll do a quick overview, and then we'll go from there. So I don't know if you can see that right down there, right over there. Those are vice grips holding the line for the slave cylinder on. That's some fucking janky shit, brother. Holy shit. See the end of the vice grips there. That's crazy. That's wild. All right, so everything is pretty much disconnected off the car. Got the turbo manifold off. Surprisingly, the studs stayed in there. Usually they like to come off, but yeah, the only really thing to do now is just drop the drive shaft, take the engine oil out of the car, the transmission fluid out of the car, and we should be set to pull it out. Aside from that, the only thing left to take out is just the fuel line, but that's quick, a couple bolts and it's out. And we should be ready to get that on the stand within the next day or so. Go over the whole engine, see what it needs, what it doesn't need, what we can salvage, what we can fix if something needs fixing. I mean, I doubt it, but yeah, we're pretty much just gonna reseal the whole engine. The way that the previous owner did it is kind of slightly janky. I don't like how it was done. And like I said at the beginning of the video, we're gonna pop the timing cover off. We're gonna do an OEM Hyundai timing chain. And like I said previously, I may or may not inspect the rod bearings just because of the concern of the oil pressure gauge isn't there, or not, was like not connected, or it was ripped in that matter. I'm gonna check the rod bearings because obviously rod bearings like to go on these cars. So we're gonna check the rod bearings. If I have the time, if I feel like doing it, then I will do it. If it's not too much of a hassle. Aside from that, yeah, we're just gonna, like I said, we're gonna reseal the whole motor in the next couple videos, and then we should be getting it ready to go in the car. Right now, today is currently Sunday. I hope to get the engine into my car on Wednesday, depending on how soon I can get the timing chain. But yeah, so we should have everything sorted out before Wednesday, and then Wednesday night, pop the engine in the car, and we should hopefully have the Purple Jenny back up and running by Wednesday, worst case end of the week. But yeah, until then guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Catch you in the next one.